hello to everybody and thank you for being with us today. Today we are proud to introduce to you DataVirtuality Pipes, the revolutionary product which helps you integrate all your data within minutes. Our exclusive launch partner for this event is Looker. Before I start with the product introduction, let me tell you a couple of words about our company and how we came to building and launching this product. So just a couple of words about data virtuality. We started as a research project at the university with the goal of finding ways of making data integration more quick and flexible to enable new ways of doing integration and new ways of doing business. Our company was founded in 2012 and we launched our flagship product Data Virtuality Logical Data Warehouse in early 2013. This product is meant to serve the needs of large organizations which have complex data integration needs which they want to have solved in a quick and flexible way. So these kinds of organizations which we're calling digital data champions. With this product we expanded in Europe and also internationally. We started our US operations in 2015 and became Gartner co-vendor in 2016. By talking to our partners and customers during this time, we realized that there is an upcoming need for a new type of product in the area of data integration, the product which serves the needs of an ever-growing number of organizations which start being data-driven. So the organizations we call digital starters. Just a quick overview of some of our customers. We serve companies of different sizes. So we serve digital mid-sized companies. We serve larger digital companies. We serve companies which start thinking about being digital, and we also serve digital departments of enterprises across geographies. So in Germany, but also internationally. The notion of digital transformation is being discussed a lot lately. And in our opinion, this is really more than just a buzzword. And here's a small illustration. So when you look at the screen, this is Rome. This is year 2005, and people here are waiting for the results of the election of the next poll. So let's look at this picture for just a small second before jumping to the next picture. This is 8 years later, same place, same occasion. So this is also a Pope election, but just look at how different everything looks. Look at all these lights. And this picture makes us see in a very obvious way that digital transformation does change our lives. And our lives means all aspects of our lives, both the personal lives, but also the lives of the organizations. And when we look at the organizations, we will see that 20 years ago, there was already major challenge with variety of data. So data were lying across different places in an organization, and they need to be integrated. And this challenge was not really solved back then. It was hard to tackle even back then. But fast forward 20 years later, the situation around data integration is really getting much more dramatic. There is a lot more of variety, a lot more of complexity, just a totally new kind of challenge. And one thing which struck myself as I was researching in the field was that the general approach for integrating the data has not really changed in 20 years or even in 30 years. So most companies still use the cumbersome and very old approach, which is called ETL, extract, transform, load. And this is the kind of approach which is really not able to serve the growing challenges of data integration in the digital world. So I was working myself in the industry projects. I was one of these people who were working hard to get the data out of different systems and integrate them. And maybe some of you also may recognize yourself in this picture, so in this hard-working kind of processes. However, What we see happening now, luckily, is we see that we have great development on the database side. We have a great number of new analytical databases, very powerful databases, often hosted in the cloud. So these are databases like Amazon Redshift, which is very known, but of course Exasol, Vertica, Azure Data Warehouse, and also some others. And they're really much more powerful compared to the databases which were used before for this type of analytic work. And because of the emergence of these databases, we're now having the opportunity to move from the old cumbersome ETL approach, where you extract, transform, and then load the data, to the EOT approach, where you first extract the data and then you can immediately load it into the database in its original form without thinking too much about the transformation, because the transformation can then be very easily done inside the database using the powerful means and the power of this analytic database. And our new product, Data Virtuality Pipes, is designed to make extracting the data from the source and loading this data into one of these analytical databases hassle-free. And the principle here is very simple. So we use the large number of connectors which we have to various data sources to load the data into one of the databases we support, which is I think 12 now, and this is a growing number. And then this data can be modeled and analyzed in this database using powerful tools like Looker, but also using some statistical tools, visualization tools, dashboard tools, or even Excel. So it's really very open. So let me just go very quickly through the steps of an EOT process with Data Virtuality Pipes. The first step is extract, and it's really very easy with Data Virtuality Pipes. So you just select from the large number of our data sources you can connect to, and then for some of the data sources you may need to enter some parameters. For example, tell the system how long in the past the system should look to extract the historical data, and then you just press go, and the data is loaded into one of the analytical databases which we support, and there are a lot of them luckily now, and they have different ways of working with them, and Data Virtuality knows the optimal way to work with each of these online databases. And in the third step, you are then able to analyze the data in this database using, for example, Looker. What are the most important benefits which Pipes brings to the customer? Of course, one great benefit is our large number of ready connectors, which is at about 150 and counting, which you can connect without coding, and which do not need to do maintenance, because this is done by Data Virtuality. We are also very good in creating and connecting new systems, so we're able to deliver new connectors very quickly when the customer requests it. It's very easy and quick to set up Data Virtuality environment, so you can just start and get to the result very quickly, and I will show it later in a short demo. And this is also simple to use. So this is a purely online system where you just log in online and you have access from everywhere, and you configure your data exports online. Some other important points for the approach which Data Virtuality Pipes is providing is, for example, that it's very agile and that you don't need to spend time on preparing your own data infrastructure, so you can just build all the things together in the cloud. And talking about cloud, we also care about security of the cloud, and I will talk a little bit about this on the next slide. And another topic which is very important, since I was talking in the beginning that the product is for data-driven starters, but the question is, what is the next step when the company wants more from their data? And The very good thing is that Data Virtuality Pipes is seamlessly upgradable to Data Virtuality Logical Data Warehouse, which can provide much more flexible and much more powerful answers to the needs of customers. Talking about security and data ownership, this is really important for us that your data are secure and that you have the feeling that you own your data. So it is possible to encrypt the data both in transfer and in storage. The data can be hosted and managed outside of the reach of US authorities, which is also important in the light of the recent political developments. So the data protection laws are currently under dispute between US and European Union. So we can host and manage everything outside of US, but we can also provide you with the US access to our US cluster if you would like to have data in US. In general, we do not save data on our side, so we only put it into database which you own. Of course, you can ask us to hold some data, and we are open to talking to you about this. It is also possible to run a pipe solution completely in your own data center or in your own hosting account, so that you own the entire data pipeline and the data storages and everything completely, and you can have it on your side. Talking about the upgradability to Data Virtuality Logical Data Warehouse, so we have seen a lot of need for this very simple use case, so just copying data from some source into some database. We have certainly seen a lot of this, but we have also seen a lot of other needs when customers say we want to have real-time access to data, and we want to have the possibility to query and join across different data sources. For example, join a Hadoop cluster and an analytical database. We have cases where customers would like to create their own connectors to their own systems. We have cases where customers want to have complex schedules which are depending on some internal events in the customer's organization, which can be triggered by the customer externally. Things like advanced data transformations, which can be very complex if needed. And also, it's very important that Data Virtuality Logical Data Warehouse provides the ability to action data. So that means you can not only look at the data, but using Data Virtuality, you can also automate and schedule things like sending data through email, or sending data to partner via FTP, or using data, for example, to change some budgets in the marketing channels. So really a kind of data-driven process automation use cases. So these are all things which are possible with Data Virtuality Logical Data Warehouse. And now I would like to show a short demo of our Data Virtuality Pipes solution. So as I said, Data Virtuality Pipes can be used completely from the web. And I'm now logging into my Data Virtuality workplace. So the workplace is empty at the beginning, so I'm starting from scratch now. And work with Data Virtuality happens in 3 simple steps. So in the first step, you need to set up storage for your data. In the second step, you add your favorite data sources, and then you create pipes to copy the data from the source to the target. So I would like to set up storage first. In our experience, Amazon Redshift was by far the most popular storage in the past years, but there are of course some storages which are even more powerful, or also very known, like Exasol or BigQuery or other. For my demo, I would take Google BigQuery, and here I am able to authenticate myself directly in the browser against Google BigQuery. and I need to enter some parameters which I get from BigQuery when I sign up. And I'm now connecting my BigQuery storage, and the storage is connected now. In the second step, we add the data sources we would like to have. So, of course, things like Google Analytics or Google AdWords or Facebook are very popular, but we have a much longer list of data sources here, which is growing. And some of them you're able to connect directly online with just a couple of clicks. For some of them, Data Virtuality colleagues would provide you support about how to connect the data sources. For my demo, I will just add a Google Analytics source, and again, I'm able to easily authenticate directly on the website. And then I give my data source a name. I'll just title it Analytics. And here you can see some selection of things which you can extract from Google Analytics. And I will just take a simple case. I just want to see data from all pages. And here the Data Virtuality Pipes ask me to provide some parameters like profile ID and also start date, from which point of time I would like to get my data. I can also get data from very long in the past. And then I set the schedule for my extract, and I am able to see the preview of the data. And then I'm just pressing create pipe, and this pipe is now being executed. It will take some seconds to execute, and also I can have a dashboard here which shows me how and when the data is executed. So it just took some seconds to execute, and I can now go into BigQuery and refresh my BigQuery, and here I see my my table, which is all pages, and I can just query this using SQL in this case, but I can also connect other tools like Looker to this BigQuery instance and work and visualize my data. So this is how things work with Data Virtuality Pipes. This is the simplicity of Data Virtuality Pipes. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'm happy to hear your questions.
Thank you, Nick, for demonstrating pipes. That was indeed quick, because it is very easy and quick to integrate data. And in the meantime, we have also received a couple of questions that we would like to answer now. One question we have received is regarding the differences of the logical data warehouse and pipes. So maybe, Nick, can you explain once more what are the differences between our existing product, the logical data warehouse, and the new product pipes?
Yes, I'm happy to do this. Logical data warehouse is a concept which builds on the EOT concept, but which also goes beyond the EOT concept. In the EOT concept, which is implemented by Data Virtuality Pipes, the work of extracting the data and putting them into the analytical database is really happening between the sources and the database. Logical data warehouse is a larger concept which contains the use case of putting the data into the analytical database, but which also contains other use cases, like, for example, modeling the data in this analytical database, or joining the data directly from the sources with the data from analytical database, or putting data into some data sources, or scheduling some actions based on data. So this is a kind of more generic framework which allows allows you seeing the entire data landscape, including data sources and analytical database and the data consumers. Logical data warehouse allows you seeing all this as one single database and allows you using the same language, which is SQL, to move data or action data across all these different systems.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, another question was, how does pricing look like and how does it scale with company scaling?
The pricing for data virtuality pipes is really very simple. The two parameters which the pricing depends on is the number and type of connectors. So it's like paying per connector per month, subscription based. And another parameter which plays a role is how often would you like to synchronize the data. And you can start using data virtuality pipes from €100 per month.
Okay. Another question we received was regarding the templates you showed earlier. And the question is it only possible to use templates provided by Data Virtuality to extract data?
This is a good question. So Data Virtuality Pipes does provide a set of predefined parameters, which kind of come from our best practices, and which you can use directly. We also have an offering, an additional feature which customers can book, and this feature allows customers to create their own extraction logic. So this happens also inside the web interface of Data Virtuality, and the extraction logic is described using SQL language. So it's an easy way to create your own extraction logic and your own transformation logic, and this is something we're happy to enable for the customers who would like to have this.
Okay. Yeah, we will answer 2 more questions in this webinar, and all the other questions we will answer them directly via email afterwards. So one more question we will answer is, how do you integrate internal data?
So talking about internal data, we do have a lot of connectors to the data sources which are usually considered internal. So, like for example, things like SAP or SAS, but there are also many other examples of the systems which usually run not in the cloud but internally. And there are 2 ways for Data Virtuality to connect. One way is connecting from the cloud, and here we are able to configure things like, for example, SSH tunnels to access the data, but also other ways of connecting are possible. If connecting from the cloud is not an option for the customer, then we could look at another option, which is hosting Data Virtuality Pipe system on-premise in the customer's network, and then having Data Virtuality Pipes work there and extract data from the internal systems and put them either into internal database or into a cloud database, depending on where the customer wants to have the data.
Okay, and in connection with this question, so I don't count this as the last one, I count this as the almost last one, is how do you query 2 or more data sources?
Yeah, this is a good question. So with Data Virtuality Pipes, you can certainly have more than one data source, and you have several data sources, and you just have pipes running from different data sources. So this is basically how do how are we able to extract data from different data sources. Then if you really want to query different data sources live, this is possible with our another solution, which is DataVirtuality Logical Data Warehouse. And DataVirtuality Logical Data Warehouse indeed has a SQL engine, which is able to, for example, do a live join between Salesforce data, Oracle data, and Hadoop data, and query it live and return the results. And we have special algorithms in our software which support this kind of distributed joins in a very optimized way. I think this is also the kind of question which we can certainly discuss in a separate email or in a separate meeting, because here we are talking more about our big product, DataVirtuality Logical Data Warehouse.
Mm-hmm. And the last question for today is, do you also include means for change data capture in the source and historization of data in the target database? So the question is then also, can I configure if existing data will be overwritten or replaced?
So this is, we do provide this functionality in general. In the standard pipe solution, we have definitions inside the pipes templates, which tell us whether in this particular pipes template the data are being historized or not. So, for example, the Google Analytics extractor, which I showed you, extracting some data, so it had this kind of special logic in order to avoid so-called sampling, which is happening usually on Google Analytics. We extract data in small batches and load them incrementally into the central database. And basically, so some of the ready templates do have historization and tracking of changes. Of course, it is also possible to have much more possibilities for historization with the bigger product, which is Logical Data Warehouse. So with Logical Data Warehouse, you have wizards for having different kinds of historization. Like, for example, you have a wizard for creating a slowly changing dimension, or you have a wizard for creating an upsert job. Talking about change data capture, we have a ready connector for change data capture from MySQL data source. This is something which can be configured by my colleagues, because it also involves some checks, compatibility checks with the MySQL server which the customer is using. There are also ways to do CDC from other databases, which we usually provide as a custom solution for the customer. So this is kind of bigger topic. So I would probably not tell any more on this in this round, but I would be happy to discuss this in a separate session.